State House, Office of the President itself, Internal Security Organization, External Security, those are the, and the Ethics and Integrity. Those are the various components or agencies which are the presidency. All of them will give you support as they have been giving it to your predecessor. People to know that there is a ministry called. People didn't know. In fact, we used to go to Parliament and just look at, why are you asking money for this department? What is it doing? Nobody knew what he was doing. All these years we have been battling, nobody, but he is leaving it when he has used the work for you. The issue now no longer, what are you doing? The issue will be, so far, what have you done? That would be the question, but not what are you doing? So that's the ministry, and I want also to assure you, as I have assured you, that you will get maximum support from us. First of all, Honorable Minister, we are not new in the Office of the President. We are not new. We worked at RDC in Kamwenge, Noya, and then Apache. So this is your ministry, this is your currently department. Whatever achievement you have got them through this Office of the President. So you are told everybody. I'm not saying because me, I always appreciate people when they are around. He's a very good, hard-working officer. I think I will tell you, I don't have much problem with this department. Sometimes I can spend even 3 weeks without talking to the minister, because I know that he's there, he's handling everything which is required. He only informs me that we have done this, we have done this, we have done this, and then you say that, okay, you go ahead and do it to the minister. I'm sure he's going to do the same with you. And sometimes if you don't see me, don't think that I'm abandoning you, but I know that I have a strong director there who will be handling the affairs of this ministry. Also, Honorable Ogwang started working here, in the presidency. Then we went and became a member of Parliament. Then we still continued working with him because he was on the committee of presidential affairs, which was also overlooking this ministry, and he really helped us a lot when he was there. And I'm sure he will continue helping us where he is, so that we move. Honorable Ministers, I want to wish you success in education. You have to decide, Honorable Ministers. As I always tell people, that God has helped me to stay for some years. In sports somehow need to be revamped, Honorable Minister. And one of the game in this country, which was, there were 2 games in this country which were so crucial. That was football and boxing, and maybe athletic. These 3 games in this country used to market our country so much. I remember in 1972, the late John Aki Boa, he was in news all over the world. That was around August, when Uganda participated in the Olympic, which was in Munich, in West Germany. Chubua made this country become proud everywhere. And everybody, maybe who didn't know Uganda at that time, which is this country, which has brought such a man. Then in boxing also made Uganda proud at that time. You had boxers like the late, I think it's dead, Ayubu Karure, Vitas Bege, and many others. Then athletics, Judy Saya, so many. Chapchema, Charimpa, so many. So these were made sports, made Uganda look a very formidable country in terms of sports worldwide. But because of the wars which we had, sports went down. And now, I would request you, Honorable Minister, I'm sorry to enter into your docket where you are going, but because of my age, I wouldn't think that you would go from here without giving you that advice. Sports must go back to schools. primary schools. That's where it starts. You produce sportsmen from primary schools. That's how we used to do it when we were young in the 60s and 70s. We had teams from schools. Now those teams from schools, they're the one who would come into national competitions, and they eventually, the Ministry of Education would be able to support those ones who are so good and then form a team. That's why you hear that in 1978, Uganda reached the final. And at that time, Uganda would have taken it, but then few people made a mistake. That was the governor name was called Nasu. And I think Mr. Sari was the team manager. They made a few mistakes, and Uganda lost that chance of taking African Cup. But in those years, still the football was at high. But I would think that since for you, I know you have been the football team of Parliament, that implies that you enjoy sports, and I would like to request you, implore you, sir, Honorable, that please do come out with the interventions which again will promote sports in this country. The president has done his part. Normally, wherever you get somebody who has got a gold medal somewhere, he at least meet them and give them lunch and give them even a token of appreciation. So now the rest is for us to start interventions from grassroots, and we see that we bring again sports to the levels which we want, to the levels of West Africa. West Africa is now beating us in terms of sports. Yet in the 60s and 70s, East Africa was leading. The problem actually of sports is not only in Uganda. I don't want to say that it's in Uganda only. Even in Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, they are already down. Yes, some years back, 20, 30 years, they were at the helm of everything. So, Honorable Minister, that is my only words to you as you are moving to the new docket. I've seen you here since you became our minister. You're always a man of solving challenges. And these challenges, I'm certain you will manage them. Honorable Minister is coming. I also success here in the Office of the President. And I want to assure that my staff, the entire staff of Office of the President, the entire presidency will give you the support you need. Thank you so much.
Monitoring is Honorable Beatrice Akina.
To interpret in English and Swahili, 1 minute. Jovanga toyomye jotero kudda. Jovanga toyomye jotero kudda. Yes, explain.
But of course, we all know that I was appointed as Minister of State, Office of the President, Economic Monitoring in 2021. This report, therefore, covers a period of 1 year and 1 month, as intended to give you highlights on the progress, challenges, and issues to be followed upon, which you will build on for further strengthening of the Directorate and the Ministry of the Presidency. The Office of the President is established under Article 98 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as amended. The Presidency derives its mandate and powers from Article 98, 99, and 108 of the Constitution, which are to uphold and safeguard the Constitution and laws of Uganda. The vision of the Presidency is a secure Office of the President. The major purpose of the President is to support the President and the High Excellency, the Vice President, to enable them perform the executive duties efficiently and effectively in order to propel the country to prosperity. The Presidency, of course, is mandated, like Haji Kakande did say, to promote good governance, public institution and civil society, to sustain a system of gathering, analyzing, storage, and dissemination of information for development, to mobilize the population for development, to provide leadership in the management of public service, to facilitate policy making process and coordination of the government activities, to coordinate or to contribute to the system of security intelligence that supports national decision making. Like Haj did say, also to coordinate all agencies fighting HIV/AIDS. The functions of the presidency, to me, are quite many, and I'll leave that to you to read in the Handsover report I'm going to give you. I want to only briefly touch about the organizational setup of the presidency, like Haj did say. The structure of the presidency, we have a minister in charge of the presidency, and in a special way, I want to thank her for being a mother, a sister who enabled me to work without interference, which in absentia is one of the persons I will miss in the office of the president. In a special way, I want to thank her, and I want to request you work closely with our senior minister. She's a good lady here in the office of the president. That I want to say. The president, of course, is the overall political head, working closely with the ministers for security, minister for Kampala Capital City Authority and Metropolitan Affairs, the minister without portfolio, who is also a deputy prime minister, and she's in charge of political mobilization. The minister of course, then we have you, like Haji said, we have my sister, Minister of State for Ethics and Integrity, and the Minister of State, Office of the Vice President. Because they comprise of 8 votes, like Haji did say, vote 1 is the one of ours, which has been ours here, 001, Office of the President. Vote 2 is State House. This one, of course, has a lot of interest, because every time you go to Parliament, focus is on State House. The media and the members of Parliament from opposition tend to put a lot of efforts there. We have to defend the presidents at all times. Vote 023 is Kampala Capital City Authority and Metropolitan Affairs. We have Uganda AIDS Commission. Vote 107, Uganda Industrial Research Institute now. I have seen it here. Vote 110, this one is new for me. I have seen vote 112, Ethics and Integrity. Then 158, External Security, 159. The directorates and departments under the president. The Office of the President is composed of the following, and I'm happy. It's an unsung hero. Where is my secretary? She has been there, Hajat. She has been a quiet lady, works. Sometimes I harass them, Joe and there. Sometimes I get annoyed with them in the field. Ekadu, I wish you all the best. I thank you so much. Then, go. Bashasha, we know each other beyond being in this office. Ndugu, I wish you well. Then, of course, the leadership of Chan Kwanzi. Then we also have Uganda Security Printing Company, which is headed by Executive Director. Operation Wealth Creation, of course, headed by General Salim Saleh. And I was given 2 cars. Number 2, I was given fuel cards, 2 of them, which I want to make sure that I hand them over before I begin my new journey. Those were the properties which were under me. So the Director of Economic Monitoring, this is why I want to take a bit of time. Like Haj did explain, it was established to provide president in areas of economic affairs, economic policy development, and improved management of our economic and social affairs through better service delivery. Essentially, the Directorate is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that policies, programs, and projects of government are effectively implemented, monitored, and evaluated for impactful results for the citizenry. The key function of the Directorate, number 1, is to monitor and inspect the implementation and performance of key economic policies and programs, projects in both public and private sector, to analyze, assess, and review key economic policies, programs, and make recommendations for policy development and strengthening. Evaluate impact of economic policies. These ones are there. Facilitate dialogue meetings, verify data. So, my sister, I want you to take time and utilize the technical team like Haji Kakane did say. You're lucky there is a pool of technical people in the presidency. Make the best use of them. That's what I did. I found them when they were not at their best. And I'm proud I'm leaving when I've tried to make the best use of them. And I want to call upon you. It will be very embarrassing for you and me to take back this Directorate down. We must leave challenges and we must cause a change in wherever we are. So that Directorate, meet with them, you will be able to perform as I did. Roles and responsibilities, they are there. The Minister of State, of course, your roles are very clear, defined here. Stakeholders and communication strategies, that one also are there. I also want to say, what I did best, which I think must be put on record, I was able to coordinate and bring on board new synergies from other agencies within government. Number one, I work closely with the RDC Secretariat. I work closely with the State House and Corruption Unit. I work closely with Economic Affairs. I work closely with Internal Security Organization. I work closely with Directorate of Public Prosecution. I work closely with the CID, and I work closely with the judiciary, particularly the principal judge. That I want to say, that I was closely working with them because of the work which we found in the field. So outside the Office of the President, we have been closely working with Office of the Prime Minister, specifically Directorate of Strategic Coordination and Monitoring and Evaluation, Minister of Finance and Economic, that's Budget Monitoring and Accountability Unit, Public Service, that's the Inspection Unit, Minister of Local Government, that helps in supervising implementation of programs at district and local government, Uganda Investment Authority, Economic Policy Research Center, Makerere University, National Planning Authority, Uganda Revenue Authority, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, Uganda Management Institute, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, and other tertiary academic institutions, not only for capacity building purposes, but also for collaborative arrangements to aid research and policy, public policy. Major achievements, it is true, the Apex, actually the President inaugurated the Apex platform and also launched the assessment report on status of implementation of presidential strategic guidelines and directives. In the special way, I want to thank Haji. And this is for us politicians. This I can say today because I'm leaving. And I'm going to get time and talk about it before the President. We should never allow our personal interests supersede this work of this technical people. These people take a lot of time to do work. But at the end of the day, some of us bring in our personal interests to attempt to deny the work they have done opportunity to be given out. What a frustration. I found it very challenging. And now I wish it ends with me. And I want to repeat how I wish it ends with me, because it was the most difficult moment I've had in my political career. That's one area which I want to interest you. There are attempts to hijack Apex from the Directorate, which I want to say, Haj, that will be the biggest blunder for the Directorate and the Presidency. At least we have left. We found it, we put in money, and it needs more money. And I want to ask you, that is the only platform where the public servants or the civil servants are beginning to work. Because before, everybody could not mind at what point am I assessed. I was in South Africa. The Minister for Presidency is the one charged with the responsibility to monitor the performance of the entire government. But this Apex is beginning to help us achieve this purpose. So I want to say, please carry on and don't be derailed. I know you are a sister. There are areas where you must put your feet down, and I'm happy that you're from the north. Me and you sometimes we can tend to go bare knuckle. So we maintain it firmly. Number two, we conducted sub-regional monitoring, like Haji did say. We did work in Bunyoro, Bugisu, Sebei, and some parts of Buganda, Wakiso. We finished Wakiza as a whole. That also, I will tell you, I encountered a lot of challenges, which challenges were again brought to the office. And I'm happy again to say this, I don't care now. I am within government, but let me leave. The cabinet paper, which I was directed by cabinet to come up with, I did, it was ready. Up to now, at one time it was put on the order paper of cabinet, but it has not been made to be presented in cabinet. Again, let my personal interest not supersede the work of the office. It is not me, it is cabinet which directed. So this I want to tell you, that if you do not There's no way you can do work and we as government don't make recommendation and which will be able to guide government. I found a lot, and you will find a lot in the field. It reached a point you are going to cost your life. It's going to be a risk on you as a person. But you can imagine you're giving a risk of your life to work for your country, and you finish coming up with the work, and it's not decided at the top decision level. What a pain. And you can't finish the country in 1 day, or in 2 months, or 3 months. It has a financial implications. At the end of the day, Haji is here. You cannot telling you that you finish the entire country within 1 quarter. How possible is it? So again, I want to request that Haji, I talked about this in top management. It did not come to pass, and I want to put it on record. The cabinet secretariat is within OP, but it is very difficult for a matter which is decided within OP to enter into the agenda of cabinet. These are the challenges I'm living here, but I'm happy I've left. And I'm going to a place where I'm very comfortable. By the way, I am very, very happy with where I've gone. Now, I can be very free to leave office of the president. I managed to increase the directorate's budget through. From here, I was here when we were at 3.6 billion. Now I'm leaving when we're 10 billion. So I think I had an increment of about how much? About 7 billion, which for me I'm happy. About 6 point something. And I want you to pursue supplementary, which should be able to help you, because I feel you have a lot to do. And Haji, with your experience, with our people in finance, please help follow up a supplementary to support my sister here, because this money is still not enough if you are to be effective. That I can promise you. But it's better than where I found it. At least now we are able to move forward. We have been able to carry out research. We have been able to reach out to development partners, which I'm happy Vincent is here. He's very committed to work and very bright. So make the best use of him. He has a lot of good ideas, but most times remain a minister. Don't make him to make those ideas supersede you. He's also here. So you remain a minister. When he brings, you say, but let's first discuss it. He's my good friend there. So Vincent, I am happy I'm living at the hands of my sister. Take care of her well. She's a good lady. So he has a lot of ideas, which sometimes he also gets frustrated. But because he's a civil servant, for him, he can't speak like me and you. So pending issues to be followed. Number 1, PICS, that I've already talked about. Number 2, program for sub-regional monitoring, that I've already talked about, continue from where we have stopped. Number 3, we were given to monitor the implementation of parish development model. And this is, like you all know, it's a game changer. And as a country, we have a lot of trust in this program. I don't know whether General Isoke is here, but I want to put this on record. This is for you. When I came in, I brought in collaborations from the police before our sister Kulo was retired, or she retired. When she left, I got in touch with the new director whom I wanted to get them and meet him. He's Dr. Magambo. I've also been working closely with State House and Corruption Unit. But one thing Haji have discovered, and I want to tell you, be firm. Whenever you go to the field, there are 2 conflicting interests. There are interests of reports you get which are tailored into one side, and they try to cover the other side. So before you take an independent decision, our investigators most times tend to take a side. This has been one biggest challenge I've found in my work. One big one. And once an investigator takes a side, you as a minister, you must be one to analyze a situation very fast before you take a position. The recent is where they have tried to blackmail me of Kaliro. With due respect, and this I'm going to tell the president, the office of General Isoke needs to be cleaned up. The investigators there were corrupt, very, very corrupt, which I really want to request him, and I'm happy I want to meet him with you, Haji, because I have Kaliro as a case study. When you're going to carry out investigation, be professional.
Yeah.
And like the president guided me, this work of ours should be intelligence-led operation. They gave me information which was one-sided. They forgot that, for the record, the deputy RDC wrote a report to me, which they tried to frustrate to reach me, and I have a record. The deputy RDC identified that the investigation had been skewed to one side. And what was the issue? The one who claimed to be a whistleblower was the main person who was a problem. Yes, but the deputy RDC had put everything in writing. When he went to the boss said, don't send this report to the minister. And the man said, but how? He put it in writing. I have a copy. So, he was able to make information reach me. But here, on the other side, these people were busy pushing up these people to go to court because they wanted really to frustrate evidence for them to be protected. And who are leading this? Our people. Now I hear writing about me on social media. Ekadu, did we sit in a hotel in Iganga? Have we ever been to Iganga? No. Please, some of us have made our names. We know where we've come from, and we know where we are going. I have a very high security detail, more than most of my colleagues. I did not get them yesterday. I came here with it, Haji, you know. So, and all this information is coming from General Isoke's office. And I want to appeal to him. It is important that Mr. Secretary of the President, I have had an interaction with the director of the CID new one. Going forward, every work must be given to specific people. If it is Wakiso, it should be a team of CIDs who should only handle Wakiso. If it is going to Sebei, same. But not the same people to rotate everywhere. This is the beginning of corruption, which I've discovered when I'm leaving. If I was here, that was going to be the biggest first point for me to crack and say, no. If it is going to Acholi, use a team for Acholi, they finish, conclude with their investigation, go to Teso with a different team. But same people in today here, same people are there. No wonder compromises keep on what? Coming. This I want to make it on record. So take it up from there. And by the way, remain firm. Because you will get all those challenges as I'm beginning to get when I'm leaving. Then the other one, of course, inadequate staffing, which is, again, ours, Haji. There are 8 vehicles in the directorate. I've been having 2, which I've brought back in good sound. Director Nansu, my sister Nansuna, I don't allow those drivers to move with your cars anyhow, because I have tried. I am happy that they will give you the cars, you carry out inspection, so that you take them well. But we need additional vehicles, and of course I know the challenges which we are facing. Of course, the other one is, I am happy my sister Nansuna, I think God had a plan that my sister will be the one to get the best car. But you help me and give director the car I've been using for long, because he has also overweighted now. Really, for me, he has been there waiting, telling my boy, please don't spoil that car there. I told the boy, keep the car well. It is going to the director. That's all, director. The car has been kept well. Of course, my special appreciation go to the president for having confidence in the 3 ministries. Every year, I'm moving from ministry to ministry. So I don't know whether it's an advantage or a disservice. So that is for me to sit down and analyze. Maybe I'll get time and sit with Haji, who has been there for some time. I want to thank him for still having confidence in me to serve my country and my party in the various dockets. I am happy. I've been in ICT. Now I came to Office of the President. Now I'm going to Ministry of Education and Sports. I thank the President. I also want to thank my senior minister, my sister, Millie Babalanda, for the time, the choice to fill the fort of economic monitoring is in the eyes of appointing authority a testimony that you are more suited